Well, another racially sensitive story that happened near your second home there in the Pittsburgh area.
Jeez, what is this with all these pictures now? Now, of course, we're going to get, 100 pictures of dudes knocking out chicks?
Yeah. Pow!
Watch this shit. Wow.
Yep. Especially a guy in his tidy whities, huh?
Just later to fuck out.
Pow!
Wow. Like it. I mean, that's terrible.
Right. Then we went to the refrigerator and got himself a drink.
Well, that one punch wore him out.
Right.
Got to quench his thirst after that.
Sure.
All right, go ahead. What do you got?
All right, over there in the Pittsburgh area where you reside half your life.
Okay.
A longtime news anchor by the name of Wendy Bell.
Right.
She posted some stuff on
Facebook.
Exactly. Anchor Wendy Bell's racist Facebook rant.
Yeah.
Is everything wrong with how we talk about crime?
Okay.
So it's wrong.
So this is written by some left-leaning faggot paper.
It could be.
Who's the paper?
This is Mick, M-I-C.
I don't even know what that is.
Yeah, it's one of those. It's like Salon.
Oh, some fucking blog thing.
Yeah.
All right.
It's heartwarming indeed that a journalist tasked with informing the public about important issues could feel compelled to share casually racist wisdom on her Facebook page.
Boy.
Racist wisdom.
Racist wisdom.
Behold, you needn't be a criminal profiler to draw a mental sketch of the killers who broke so many hearts 2 weeks ago, Wednesday, wrote Wendy Bell.
Okay.
A news anchor at WTAE when I lived in Pittsburgh as a youngster.
As a ute?
I used to watch WTAE in Pittsburgh.
Right.
According to the Associated Press, she says they are young black men, likely teens or in their early 20s. They have multiple siblings from multiple fathers, and their mothers work multiple jobs. So that was her assessment on the killers of a backyard barbecue.
Okay.
So I don't know if you were aware of it, but there was a backyard barbecue when there was
I am aware. It was fairly close to me.
Yeah. And basically 6 people got killed.
Right. And they set them up.
Mm-hmm.
They I forget what they did. They started shooting in one place and everybody went running the other way where the other guy was set up.
Yeah. And he shot him as they came at him.
Yeah. Yeah. It was an execution.
It was a massacre is what it was.
It
was a planned massacre.
Yeah, I know of the story, and it definitely sent some ripples up there because it is fairly close.
Sure. So there's a backyard barbecue, some people hanging out, barbecuing. A gunman shows up, starts shooting. So everybody starts running in one direction, and there's a shooter at the other end. And as they come running at him, he starts just knocking them off one at a time.
Yeah, like a target game.
Yeah, kind of like a target shooting.
Yep, like at a carnival.
So according to this WTAE reporter, Wendy Bell, she posted on her Facebook her assessment of what she believes to be the shooter because they did not apprehend or catch the shooters yet.
Okay.
So they do not know who the shooters were.
Right.
But just knowing what she knows, probably from years of experience.
Yeah, and living there.
And understanding what happens, she made the assumption, which is where the wrong part comes in, I would imagine.
Okay.
That the shooters are young black men in their teens or early 20s. They have multiple siblings from multiple fathers, and their mothers work multiple jobs.
Okay.
So more or less, she is describing the stereotypical ghetto black.
Right. But she's black, isn't she?
No, she is not black.
Is she white? I don't know.
But regardless of that, this is where the crux of the story is.
Okay.
that this white woman is assessing the situation without the facts.
Okay.
And this is where everybody's up in arms.
Okay.
My question to you when I shot this story over to you is that if they catch the culprits or the perpetrators,
right,
and they end up being a couple young black men that she sketched out, will she get an apology?
Fuck no. They will not even address it at this point.
Right.
WTAE will not even. It'll be the number one story on every station except TAE.
Right.
TAE will have it buried somewhere if they do the story at all.
Sure.
They probably won't do the story out of fear of lawsuit. Seriously. Because she's going to sue them.
Probably.
Especially if she's right.
Yeah, well, we haven't even got to what happened to her yet.
Okay.
Bell, who is white, was referring to a crime that occurred March 9th in nearby Wilkinsburg,
right,
Pennsylvania, where two still unidentified shooters opened fire at a backyard barbecue and killed 6 people, all of whom were black.
Okay.
So, according to this Wendy Bell, she is assuming black on black crime. Okay, again, this is where her mistake was. Well, number one, posting something on a stupid Facebook was a mistake.
Yeah.
And then making an assumption when there were no facts backing her thoughts, that was number 2.
Right. Well, why did she do this? Is it
because she is more or less a bleeding heart that's like saying this is breaking people's hearts. Why are you destroying your own community like this?
Yeah, when you're in the media, it's time to fucking if your station has a Facebook page for you, that's fine. Have it and let them update it, but you really need to stay off it.
I agree. And again, you know how much of a hate I have for Facebook. This always gets people in trouble.
Well, happily, and obviously you're not on Facebook to see it, but I am noticing by leaps and bounds Facebook is dying. It is definitely, people are using it a lot less. I see a lot of posts, people saying that they're jumping off of Facebook now, because they just are done wasting their time with fucking Facebook.
Sure.
And a lot of people are afraid of getting in trouble with it.
Yeah, well, I mean, a lot of people are getting in trouble with it.
Yeah, but I mean, people are, they're at the point now where it's like, it ain't worth it.
No, I agree. And number one, for me personally, I've got nothing to say. And number 2, I don't need the trouble that it seems to bring with it.
Yeah, well, dude, believe me, if I ever have to go back to real work, the first thing I'm doing is closing my Facebook.
Right.
And I've kept a fake Facebook for years, with that's my, because my first name is not Chris, it's Charles.
Sure. So
I keep a Charles Aiken page out there that once a fucking month has, oh man, it's cold outside today. And hey, it's opening day. Go Tribe.
Right.
Fucking faggot ass page.
Sure.
So that if I ever go and get a job, like if I ever had to go back to a real job and people need, how they ask you now for your Facebook.
Yeah.
My answer would be, oh yeah, here it is. And they can go there.
Sure.
And they can see this fucking sunny, happy guy.
Right. Wendy continues, these boys have been in the system before. Bell added, describing who she assured the perpetrators to be.
Right.
Is that assuring that?
I guess so.
They've grown up here. They know the police. They've been arrested.
Right.
Not a single suspect has been identified as of Thursday, by the way.
Okay.
So I would agree she made a big error in making this assumption, but I would guarantee you that she's probably right.
Well, she's going to be right. And when she is, they're not going to hire her back and they're not going to apologize to her. And they're going to quietly settle out of court with her. Because if she's right, if she's right, then she was wrongfully terminated.
Sure.
As it stands right now, she's not. I mean, she's terminated for cause.
Yeah, because until the facts are in, she did jump the gun here.
But if her gun jumping turns out to be real and exactly what it was, then she was wrongfully terminated.
Yes.
And she will fucking, as a media person, that hurts her credibility hard. She'll take a 7-figure settlement.
Right.
She'll get $1 million. Don't you think?
Yeah, well, she's been there a long time, so even, her severance alone.
Yeah, well, she'll get a couple million in court settlement.
Sure.
Because they're not going to want that to a major TV station does not want that to drag out.
Of course not.
That would not be good for that TV station at all.
Sure.
They will give her $3 million to go away.
Right.
So,
Belle's controversial post appeared on her Facebook fan page Wednesday, according to multiple reports, not long after a separate page had been created calling for her to be held accountable for her statements.
Ugh, you bleeding heart pussies.
Yeah. Held accountable.
Held accountable.
Belle had deleted the original post by Wednesday evening and issued the following. The following
Facebook post?
No. Apology.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Got to have an apology.
Got to have an apology before you get fired.
Right. I understand that some of the words I choose were insensitive and could be viewed as racist.
Right.
She wrote. I regret offending anyone, and I'm truly sorry. No, I'm truly sorry that somebody made an issue of it.
Yeah, exactly. You're not truly sorry. You believe it.
Yeah, you believe it.
You believe it.
Yeah.
Why are you apologizing for something you actually believe?
Sure, because the station told me if I didn't, I'm going to get fired.
Yeah, and then they fired you anyway.
Right.
Never apologize.
Yes.
In the media, no matter what you say, own it. Just own it. The closest to an apology you should ever come and say, yeah, maybe I didn't really mean that. That's about the best. That's the closest to an apology you should ever come. I reacted in the moment.
Mm-hmm.
But you don't apologize.
Why don't you use Hillary Clinton's excuse? It was the fog of war.
Yeah, the fog of war.
It's remarkable how, in the wake of such a staggering tragedy, and in a single Facebook post, no less, Belle managed to both irresponsibly speculate as to the killer's identities without any evidence and to collectively demonize. Now, see, this is where I have a problem with this. Demonize all young black men.
No, she demonized these two.
Yeah, but you see, if it applied to those two, it applies to all.
No, it doesn't.
But that's the mindset, though.
It doesn't. The 6 people that were gunned down were black, too, I believe.
They were.
And you know what? So it doesn't demonize those 6. It's not saying that they were fucked up. It's saying the 2 that shot them were fucked up.
Yeah, but see, they don't know who shot him because it could be 2 rogue white guys that did it.
Sure, it could have been.
Sure.
Could have been 2 bolts of lightning, too, except it wasn't.
And to collectively demonize all young black men, people with siblings from multiple fathers, people whose mothers work multiple jobs, and people who have been arrested or incarcerated.
Yeah.
So she's basically what this article is saying is that she is drawing the conclusion that, number one, they're black people that did it. Number 2, that they're young black men, that they come from fatherless families.
So wait a minute. There's no fatherless families with the mother working 2 jobs while the dad's incarcerated. That's all white family.
Right.
That doesn't happen.
No.
So where then is the racial profile here?
Well, because
they're making the assumption. They're putting their spin into her mouth.
Sure.
They're assuming something she did not say.
Right.
And actually something that she did not even insinuate. She insinuated a structure of behavior. They equate that to black people.
Right.
So that, in my mind, is them being the racists, not her.
Correct.
Oh, I would love to be in the lawsuit for this. I'd love to be her attorney.
Hail and kill caller, you're on the air.
Half of these people need to plead insanity and use the excuse the devil made me do it or some crap.
And thank you, Tim, for calling again.
That was not even worth dialing for that, Tim, unless you really have something to say.
Thank you.
Jeez. And I was expecting that to be Doghouse.
No.
All right. Considering the racial asymmetry with which American incarceration system operates, locking up black men at incredibly high rates, the number of people who also fit the above profile but still manage not to become bloodthirsty killers is legion. Bloodthirsty killers.
I think we're stretching a little bit here.
I think that's a little. To top it all off, Bell also insulted the entire city where the crime took place.
The entire city was upset.
She insulted the entire city.
She sure did.
Of which 66% of the population is black and 22% live below the poverty line.
Oh. But none of them would fucking meet this criteria, of course.
Apparently not.
No.
Even though 66 is more than 50%.
Yeah.
So it's a high probability, but it's not definite.
You're not allowed to say anything's a probability. You can't even say that these people were men if they have dicks.
That's true because
they might say anything
because they might identify as women that day.
They might have identified as women killers,
right?
Not male killers,
right?
So,
they might have been feeling a little effeminate that day and identified as women.
They were feeling like battered women,
right? I will tell you, the killers live within 5 miles of Franklin Avenue and Ardmore Boulevard and have been hiding out since in a home. Has been hiding out since in a home, likely much closer to the backyard patio than anyone thinks, she wrote.
Right.
So I think she's probably drawing these conclusions regardless if they're fact-based or not.
Okay.
Which, again, I will say that she made the mistake there by not. She's making speculation.
Yeah, okay.
But based on the fact that she's been involved with the media or as a reporter for the last, 20 years, she probably has seen this profile again and again and again and again and again and again and again.
Yeah.
So it's just like, oh, boy, here's another one. You know.
Right.
And I can imagine that be the case, but again, that does not say that she has, that it's prudent in her position to make such a statement in a public forum.
Right.
That's where she made her big mistake. Because she certainly wouldn't go on the air at WTAE. A couple of young black men gunned down 6 people today.
No, probably not.
You know. She couldn't say that on TV, so why is she saying it on a Facebook page? Especially since she's a public figure.
Yeah. Well, yeah, she fucked up, but I still would love to be her lawyer.
True.
Her lawyer's going to make some bank.
Yeah, we'll see how this works out. Wilkinsburg Police Chief Ophelia Coleman.
White woman?
I was waiting for that. Talks to the press after the March 9th shooting. The pathologizing. Wow, what a word.
Pathologizing?
Yeah, pathologizing. Pathologizing.
Okay. Sure this wasn't a white woman?
Of American blackness is certainly nothing new. It often takes the form of coded dog whistle phraseology meant to hint at tropes associated with blackness without explicitly using the language.
I like that she's fucking putting that English degree to use. Jeez, oh man. Trope pathologizing?
Yes.
Jesus Christ, these are some words.
Yes, they are.
That's impressive. Wow. She's not just a dumb nigger.
Examples include when House Speaker Paul Ryan, Republican, attributed inner city i.e., black people, unemployment rates, to a real cultural problem of men not learning the value and the culture of work in 2014.
Right.
This kind of statement, along with the fallacious notion of so-called black-on-black crime, ignore this.
Wait a minute. That's just a notion.
It's not a notion. It happens here in Chicago day in and day out.
That is an absolute fact.
That is a fact.
Yeah, there's no racial overtone to that. That's happening constantly.
Mm-hmm.
Jesus. Wow. What a stupid statement that was.
Well, again, it's this whole trying to soften the blow.
Right.
As if it's not happening.
Right.
And as if it's just some kind of a trumped up media story.
Mm-hmm.
Ignore the systematic racism that informs both, namely that a pattern of anti-black job discrimination and that in a racially segregated county or country, people tend to kill people who live near them. Go much further toward explaining these phenomena that merely saying something is wrong with a black person.
Yeah. Well, you know what? Here's my answer to that. I live in a town of about 10,000 people. Isn't that about what my town is?
Mm-hmm.
Primarily, I would say it's probably 80% white.
Mm-hmm.
We don't have any shootings.
Right.
Had one that I'm aware of, one murder, since I've lived here.
Right.
Now, that's a bunch of white people in a white area, and there ain't any white-on-white crime going on, or white-on-black crime, or black-on-black crime. It's the fucking behavior of fucking idiots.
Basically, that's always what I've said. It's always behavior. It's not about blackness. It's about behavior.
Yeah. But to try and say that black-on-black crime doesn't happen is fucking ridiculous. Of course it happens. Happens all over the place. But it's not nobody there has. I'm going to make a statement that I don't normally make because I don't normally make these broad brushed statements, but I'm going to make a broad brush statement right now. Not one of the killings in Chicago since the first of the year, there's what now, 150, 200 or something?
Yeah, it's getting up that way.
Not one of these shootings and murders was done by one black guy shooting another black guy because he was a black guy. There was no racial profiling in the shooting. They shot him because they were stealing from him, or they had been stolen from, or robbed, or been done wrong, or were
territorial, or drug related, or money related.
Yeah, it was not because of their blackness that one black guy shot another black guy. I'm going to say that happened not once. So this kind of even with the statement that this lady is making here that's trying to say that it's anti-fucking black or whatever to say that this is not happening is her injecting her racism into it.
Right.
Not the other way around. It's not society injecting their racism. Nobody fucking thinks that a black guy shooting another black guy because they're black. They think they're doing it because they're fucking idiots.
Mm-hmm.
And that is not racist to think that people are idiots. It's only racist when you're adding the fucking color to it, you fucking cunt.
Sure.
Ugh, fucking people.
But fact can be inconvenient when confronted with her own racism by a Facebook commenter. Bell reportedly replied that what she wrote wasn't racism, but realism.
Okay.
And if that makes me sound like a racist by agreeing with her, I would say I agree with that.
I agree with her too.
It's not racism, it's realism. This is happening.
To me, this woman sounds like she's the racist, not the TAE lady.
Right.
The lady writing the piece or making these statements. She's the one putting race into this. 100%. This lady said nothing about their race.
Sure.
She didn't say that they couldn't be two white dudes that did it. Nowhere in her statement did she say two white dudes didn't do it.
Sure.
She said 2 people of broken homes did it, is basically what she said.
Mm-hmm.
She didn't identify a color. She didn't say it wasn't Chinese people. She didn't say it wasn't American Indians. She didn't say it wasn't Muslims. She said 2 fucking assholes that are from a broken home. There's no racial profile until she fucking injected it based on her own fucking logic.
Sure.
Fucking, that's where the racism is.
Right.
It's fucking using racism to cry racism. That's really what it is.
Right. Perhaps someone should tell her that it probably isn't realism if she made it up based solely on her own racist presumptions.
Yeah, except that she didn't say a race, you bitch. You did.
Well, she did. She did say at the beginning that it's 2 young black men.
Okay.
That's what she said.
And when it comes out to be, then what?
Yeah, well, that's what I said. If it ends up being 2 young black men, is she going to get her apology?
When it ends up being 2 black guys, then what?
Yeah.
A community was 70% black, and you think that a crime that heinous wasn't done with people that knew these people? You think that's not a fucking
realistic assessment?
You think it was a random shooting? I mean, is that what she's trying to say?
Yeah.
This is people that live in the community that gunned on other people.
You don't know who did that. They didn't catch the perpetrators. You don't know that it was those guys.
Yeah, you're right. I don't. And when you do catch them, believe me, I'm going to laugh at you. I'm going to point and laugh at your stupidity.
Mm-hmm.
Make sure you keep this article handy.
Oh, I will. Believe me.
For an update.
You know me. I love the updates.
Right.
Here's a full transcript of Belle's original Facebook post for your reading pleasure.
All right.
So this is exactly how she wrote it.
Mm-hmm.
Next to, if I've told you once, I've told you 1,000 times. I remember my mom most often saying to my sister and me when we were young and constantly fighting, if you don't have anything nice to say, don't say anything at all. I really had nothing nice to say these past 11 days, and so this page has been quiet. There is no nice words to write when a coward holding an AK-47 hoses down a family and their friends, sharing laughs and a mild evening of back porch on a back porch in Wilkinsburg. There's no kind words when 6 people are murdered, when their children have to hide for cover and then emerge from a frightening shadow to find their mother's face blown off of their father's blown off or their father's twisted body leaking blood into the dirt from all the bullet holes. There's just been nothing nice to say, and I've been dragging around this feeling like a cold I can't shake that rattles in my chest each time I breathe and makes my temples throb. I don't want to hurt anymore. I'm tired of hurting. You needn't be a criminal profiler to draw a mental sketch of the killers who broke so many hearts 2 weeks ago Wednesday. I will tell you, they live within 5 miles of Franklin Avenue and Ardmore Boulevard and have been hiding out since in a home likely much closer to that backyard patio than anyone thinks. They are young black men, likely teens or in their early 20s. They have multiple siblings from multiple fathers, and their mothers work multiple jobs. These boys have been in the system before. They've grown up there. They know the police. They've been arrested. They've made the circuit, and nothing has scared them enough. Now they are lost. Once you kill a neighbor's 3 children, 2 nieces, her unborn grandson, and there's no coming back. There's nothing nice to say about that. But there is hope. And Joe and I caught a glimpse of it on Saturday night. A young African-American teen hustling like nobody's business at a restaurant we took the boys to over the South Side Works. This child stacked heavy glasses so high and carried 3 teetering towers of them in one hand with plates piled high in the other. He wiped off the tables, tended to the chairs, got down on his hands and knees and picked up the scraps that had fallen to the floor, and he did all this with a rhythm and a step that gushed positively. Boy, that wasn't a good choice of words, was it?
No, not really.
A rhythm and a step. That's not good.
He'd be great.
You call him Step and Fetch It.
He'd be a good boy. Jesus Christ.
then he did a tap dance voice.
Hey, man.
He moved like a dancer with a satisfied smile on his face, and I couldn't take my eyes off of him.
He was like an Al Jolson event.
That's my point. Hello, my honey. Hello, my darling. Hello, my good time girl.
I couldn't tell if he was wearing blackface or not. Jesus Christ.
He's going to make it.
That might have been a little racist. Her comment.
See, I think that was a little.
I think her good words were the racist part.
I think so too. I'm going to agree with you there. That's a little much.
Jesus Christ.
He's a dancer and he's a step and fetch it.
And the funny part is the other lady took offense to the description of the other guys as black criminals.
Right.
She really should take offense to this.
Talking about stepping in rhythm.
And not only that, here's the one black kid that's not lazy. That's kind of her statement.
That's more or less he breaks the mold.
You know, we went somewhere and you're not going to believe it. A black kid working hard. Holy shit!
That's more or less how I gather that as well.
Wow, and they're not upset about that?
No, apparently not.
Upset about that? Finally, one of these types doing some hard work.
He was moving in rhythm and he was dancing.
I lived here my whole life. I never saw one work hard. Jesus Christ.
Wow. When Joe paid the bill, I asked to see the manager. He came over to our table apprehensively, and I told him that the young man was the best thing this restaurant had going.
He's the best black in here.
The manager beamed and agreed that his young employee was special.
Yeah. A black kid, he's something else.
He's not bad for a black boy.
Not bad at all for a black kid. Jesus.
As the boys, we put on our coats and as the boys and we put on our coats and started walking out, I saw the manager put his arm around that child's shoulder and pat him on the back and congratulations.
Yeah.
It will be some time before I forget the smile that beamed across that young worker's face. Yeah. Or the look in his eyes as we caught each other's gaze. I wonder how long it had been since someone told him he was special.
Probably never, because no one tells black people that they're special.
Right.
Never does that happen.
Wow. There's something in your life. There's someone in your life today, a stranger you're going to come across who could really use that. A hand up.
Yeah, or a hand job.
A warm word or encouragement, direction, kindness, a chance.
Right.
We can't change what's already happened, but we can be a part of what's on the way. Speak up, reach out, dare to care, give part of you to someone else. That, my friends, can change someone else's course, and then, just maybe then, I'll start feeling again like there's something nice to say.
Yeah, but unfortunately, in the real world, she did this at this one place, and then there'll be some other guy complaining, saying, well, she showed favoritism because there were 3 black kids working hard, and she only showed favoritism to the one.
Sure.
What is she trying to say?
Right.
What's wrong with the other 2?
Right.
Were they a darker shade of black?
Right.
Is that what maybe they were too white? Maybe that's why she didn't appreciate them. They were too light-skinned to black. Fucking so bad.
I know.
Everything's a fucking racial issue now, no matter what. Enough.
So let's find out what happened to Wendy Bell, shall we?
Yeah, okay.
Pittsburgh news anchor Wendy Bell was fired.
Of course she was.
Wednesday from ABC affiliate WTAE after outcry over a Facebook post in which she used racially stereotypical language in talking about young black men.
Yeah. Can I give this this piece of knowledge to anybody in the media? Your apology is part of the station's justification to fire you.
Mm-hmm.
When you apologize, you officially make it so that the station can say, we made the tough decision. Because you're saying, I did it, please forgive me, and they're fucking strong enough to say no.
Mm-hmm.
And you're fucking a fool if you do that.
Right.
You should never make them fucking fire you without an apology.
Right. Because by apologizing, you're saying you did something wrong.
You're saying that you're guilty.
Right.
She's not really guilty here. She didn't do anything wrong.
She gave an opinion.
Yeah. So what? Big fucking deal. If companies, and this is the part that I don't get, if companies don't want you, if they don't want you to make these crazy statements, why don't they have policies against having a personal Facebook page?
Sure.
They have policies against saying shit in public that brings down the character of your, of the company. It defames the character of the company, right? And a lot of these companies, you got to think that they like have firewalls that don't allow Facebook or whatever to be on their network.
True.
So then why can't they just say you can't work here if you have a Facebook page?
Well, apparently this was a page that was maintained by the TV station as a fan page.
Okay, well, apparently it wasn't maintained well because they had their personalities fucking commenting on it.
Sure.
Instead of the assigned person that handles social media.
Right.
That sounds like a station fuck up to me.
Sure. Hail and kill caller, you're on the air.
Hey, guys. Steve Wall here.
Hey, what's up, Steve?
Hey, I'm just listening to the show about the black media and all that stuff. My theory is this. It seems like I think there's people being paid to go out there and cause a disturbance about the whole entire racial issue.
Of course.
Yeah, like
those back in the day, they used to be referred to as rabble rousers.
Yeah, rabble rousers. You know what? George Soros. You heard of him?
Yeah, absolutely. Multi-billionaire, rabble rouser.
I can't prove it, but I think he's kind of behind it. I don't know what you think about that, but, I mean, paying people to go out there and be rabble rousers and cause a disturbance and, whatever it is, just go out there and make a scene. That's my whole take on it.
Sure. Well, it does happen, and yes, George Soros funds Media Matters and things to try to stir things up. And yes, George Soros he hates America, and he would like to see them taken over eventually.
Yeah, I mean, that's all I can make out of it, because it doesn't make any sense at all. Why would anyone do that? That's all I can make out of it. But, why would anyone go out there and do this? Someone has to pay them, right?
Well, see, some people are they're ideologues, and they think that they're serving a greater good by inserting their. I'm sure you've heard the term over the last few years, these social justice warriors.
Yes.
They think they're kind of like the 60s people, the protesters of the 60s. They think that they're serving. They think that they're serving. They think they're serving a greater good, and they honestly believe that, and that gives them a purpose in life.
Because they don't have one.
More or less, yeah, because they don't work better, jobs. They don't maintain, families, etc. So they need a purpose in life, and they think that by raising the consciousness, they're doing service to the greater good.
Right. It helps us all.
But it doesn't.
That's what they think. No, not at all. But the motivation behind it, I mean, like you said, really? That's all it takes is someone paying them to go out there and cause trouble or to annoy people?
Well, I think that the person, if they are compensated for their, annoyance, they actually have a belief in that to begin with. And it just gives them extra motivation to get out there and still beat that drum.
Yeah, like, I don't know, kind of like a religion or a...
Yeah, it's an
ideology
is what it is. They're ideologues.
Ideologue, yeah. Do you see it as a leftist? The whole thing is a leftist movement, like the brown shirts in Germany, or before World War II, or what do you think?
Well, it's people who feel that they're being disenfranchised by the current system, that their voices are not heard, that they're not given a fair shake, that they're somehow being, discriminated against, rather than just buckle down, be a good person, be a good citizen, earn a living, go get a job, and just do the responsible thing. This is their only way of, quote unquote, fighting back.
Yeah, their voices are not heard. I find that interesting. Their voices are not heard. What voice is that? I agree with you, but I don't understand what they mean.
Well, they have a philosophy that they think needs to be injected into the public conscience. And because their philosophy goes against what the status quo is, and people don't take them seriously, then they feel like they're being, disenfranchised because they don't have a voice, because people don't take them seriously. Well, it's just like the Black Lives Matter movement. Take that, for example. Even though the crux of that movement is supposedly that the black lives are being not valued by the law enforcement, people in general, in the general populace, say, until you, black people, value each other's lives, nobody else is going to do that. Just like here in Chicago, I live in the outskirts of Chicago. There's literally 20, 30 shootings a week here. And it's all black on black shootings. And people go, what? Okay. You black people don't value each other's lives. Why should anybody else?
There you go. That's what I wonder about. They kill each other. So until they realize that, blacks killing blacks, why should we say Black Lives Matter until they realize you shouldn't be murdering each other left and right?
Exactly.
After that happens, maybe I'll listen.
That's more or less it. When you start taking value or taking stock of the value in a black life, then maybe we'll start paying attention. But until that day comes, go fuck yourself.
It's hypocritical, right?
More or less.
Yeah, okay, I agree. All right. Where's Chris at anyway? What's he doing?
I'm texting. I'm paying no attention to either of you.
Yeah, he says, fuck you, pal. So, fuck you, Steve Wall. I don't give two shits about you. Yeah. I got a big-titted girl on my text message here.
That's right.
Chris is awesome. All right. Talk to that chick, Chris. We'll talk to you later.
Hail and kill.
All right. Hail and kill, guys. Talk to you later. Bye.
You waiting for me to finish texting?
No, I was just going to finish the story here real quick.
Go ahead.
Bell had been associated with WTAE for 18 years.
Jeez, oh man!
Almost as long as I've been doing the CMS.
Yeah, and she's fired for not making a comment that people read into and turned into a comment.
More or less.
Nice.
But could not withstand the outcry over her rant on the station's own social media account, speculating on the perpetrators of the then unsolved murder.
How many people do you think fucking voiced an opinion? 100?
Again, nobody likes the bad press, especially the media.
But I mean, do you think it was more than 100?
No, I don't think so.
And isn't Pittsburgh a city of like 2 or 3 million people?
Yeah.
And if 100 people say something, that's worth fucking firing somebody that's been...
It's just like, she's white. She commented on a black thing. It was on the station's social media site. She shouldn't have done that. 18 years.
Jeez, oh man. And they just flushed that away and brought in who? Jaquita fucking Holmes?
WTAE has ended its relationship with anchor Wendy Bell. Hearst Television, the station owner, said in a statement. Wendy's recent comments on a on a WTAE Facebook page were inconsistent with the company's ethics and journalistic standards. Journalistic standards.
Right, sure.
Was she reporting on a story?
I don't think so.
Bell was pulled off the air last week, and WTAE president and general manager Charles Wolferts aired a public apology for what he then called Bell's egregious lack of judgment.
Yeah, egregious lack of judgment.
So he made a little promo, apparently.
We at WTAE do not condone this type of talk about any members of our community.
Right.
We are, after all, first and foremost about our community.
Right.
You people are what make WTAE.
Wait a minute. You can't say you people.
You people meaning everybody. Every outraged citizen of whatever racial profile you would be.
Right.
All of you people are the core, the value and the structure that has allowed WTAE into your homes for the last X number of years. We thank you for your continued support, and we proudly fire this bitch for fucking ever saying something that ruffled your feathers.
Sure.
Thank you, and go fuck yourself.
Right. The controversial comments were posted after a mass shooting in Wilkinsburg, Pennsylvania, in which 6 people were killed. But before police had made any arrests, you needn't be a criminal profiler to draw a mental sketch of the killers who broke so many hearts, Bell wrote. They are young black men, likely in their teens or early 20s. They have multiple siblings from multiple fathers, and their mothers work multiple jobs.
Right.
These young boys have been in the system before. They've grown up there. They know the police. They've been arrested. They've made the circuit, and nothing has scared them enough.
Nothing.
Now they are lost. Once you kill a neighbor's 3 children, 2 nieces, and her unborn grandson, there is no coming back. There's nothing nice to say about that.
That's right.
So she got the boot.
Yeah. Goodbye.
Yeah. Take your racist, bigoted ideas and get the fuck out of here.
She better move to another city too, because you got to assume that she's cancer at this point in Pittsburgh.
Yeah, she's a pariah now.
She can't get a job in Pittsburgh.
Yep, you're gone now.
Yep.
You're out of here, pal.
You better try somewhere in fucking Butte, Montana or somewhere.
Sure.
Or somewhere down south where they like your racist approach.
Right. She could go to Mississippi and get a job easily down there.
Hey, you're the one. You're the head anchor.
So that happened right there in your second backyard.
Yeah, right here in Pittsburgh.
Come on now. Those people are paying money to come to your place.
Well, good for them. Doesn't mean I have to like their city. I just like their money.